Welcome back to another episode of Definitely Not Mechanics. So this episode is pretty special to me because it is doing something that I've wanted to do forever. Literally, almost my whole life I've wanted to do this. Does it have anything to do with cars? Nope, absolutely not. So if that's all you're here for, just get the heck out, brother. Because today, we're doing skateboarding stuff. So, I've been skateboarding almost all my life, right? And one thing that every skateboarder will agree on is you gotta have a mini ramp, right? If you're gonna skate, especially being out in the country, I don't even have a driveway to my shop, brother. I've got a rock driveway. This is the only concrete I have, and it's always consumed with broken shit. So, we're gonna utilize some of the space back here. I have already set these guys all nice and level. I bought the wood and additional supplies to build my own. This is going to be loosely based on the OC Ramps Garage Mini. That's a 2 foot by 8 foot by 16 foot. So I guess let's get into it on cutting these transitions. I won't make you guys watch me unload this. So a couple things you're going to need here. Your straightest 2x4. So set up this board to where it's completely flush. All right. Then get your scribing tool. You want to make sure that your stud fits within that. We've got good button up to it each way around. Now that we've got our straightest board traced out here, this is our designated flat. We're putting transition over here. I'm doing a 20-inch top deck on mine. The reason I'm doing a 20-inch top deck is because this is a short ramp, and I can add to the back if I need to. From the bottom of this up is going to be 27.5, which means 24 from this mark. So we'll go 27.5. Now we are going to go 20 inches out from this. Now we're tracing out the piece for our deck right here. Make sure that you hold your pencil straight, or at least consistently the same way all the way down. We've got this right here is our end mark. This is where we're going to stop our cut, because our coping is going to go right there. We're going to take our straightest 2x4 again, and we're going to mark 6 foot down it. From here to there is 6 foot. We're going to take one of our 2.5 inch screws, and we're going to start it in that 6 foot mark right there. And then we're going to take this guy over here. So if we've got these flush up against each other, going from this side to the center of the screw, it's going to be right at 20.25, and then going from the bottom up, it's at 75.5-ish. That's kind of your sweet spot there, but dick around with it and make sure that you figure out where you like it. Don't just base it off of me. From what I understand, Keen does 6 foot transitions on anything up to like 3.5 foot tall. So since this is a 2 foot tall mini, we're gonna use a 6 foot radius as well. So we're gonna hold it right there in that corner, move our whole shtick down, boom. And this is our intersect mark here, and this is here, boom. I did locate this lid to spray paint can, and it is 2 3/8, which is the exact same size as our coping, and the fact that it's see-through means we can like set it on a point. What we're trying to figure out is where we're going to cut our coping. I think it's easier to mark this way than it would be if we marked it afterwards. So we know, according to the professionals, on this side we need an 1/8 inch, this side we need a 1/4 inch, and what I'm referring to is the amount of space from here to here, which is going to be the top of our coping rail. Same with over here, it's going to be from this surface of our ramp to out here. We want an 1/8 inch, but it's not going to be an 1/8 inch off of this. It's It's gonna be an 1/8 inch off of our ramp surface and our 2 layers of 3/8. Now, my ramp surface specifically is 3/16. You may be working with anything between 1/4 and an 1/8 inch. So this is gonna fit right in between. And this will kind of give you a roundabout estimation on this. So if you pull this out, you can just start at any spot and just count it. And that's what I'm doing here. And we can tell that my count was off on this. So from here, we want a whole inch plus an 1/8. It's right there. And up here, my top deck surface is just going to be another one of these. This one specifically is pretty much 3/4. So we'll just call it 3/4. 3/4 plus 1/4 is what, everybody? 1 inch. Thanks for playing. So we just mark this at 1 inch right here. So essentially, should be able to take this guy, make him hit both. Boom. That should be where this needs to sit. I'm gonna hold it in the middle. And then mark. Who's Mark? I don't know. Better than Doug though. A hole saw bit that is the same size as my reference piece. So that's gonna be perfect. I think it's gonna be a little tight, but I'd rather that. I've marked my center. I know what I'm doing. I have put something up under here. That way I can make sure that I can plunge this through without hitting the concrete. Yeah, I think it's time to rock and roll here. All right, so we left the same prop under this side. We put some boards to prop here because I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna wanna lean on this. And if I'm able to get right here and not cause any stress on this, it won't bind up, or it'll be less likely to bind up. So make sure that your area of cutting is clear. Make sure that your cord's not likely to get chopped up in this. Take your jigsaw, put a nice fresh blade on it, and get after it. Right, line yourself up, make sure your cord's out of the way. Beware of that. But watch your cord, watch where it's going. Make sure that it's running behind you, not under you. Red shoulder hawk always be going crazy over here. Look, here he is. Crazy. Anyways, make sure you can see your lines. And this is a whole half, baby. Or a whole side. So you can see I overcut it here a little bit. That's to leave us the room to sand it down, make it smooth and flush. We got to cut this too. So our next step will be sanding this to make sure it's 100% where we like it. Once that's finished, then we can trace this onto all our other ones. From here, we'll just cut the rest of them, clamp them together, and sand them all to match this. Where'd that little dickhead just go? this. Look at this little asshole. I'm trying to build a ramp here, you jerk. Okay, so I won't bore you guys too much with this part because it's just going to be a repeat of what I already did to the single one. We've got our finished one right here on the right side. We've got them all clamped together. All right, so now we're at the next step. We've got everything good and smooth here. We've marked out all of our 2x4s. We've pre-drilled all of our holes. The coping setup, you'll see this a little bit better later in the video, but this is kind of a culmination of a couple of different designs that I have seen, and I sort of just put them all together, tried to make the best of it. We'll see how that works out. We're at the easy part here. We got to cut these down. So while this is 8 foot by 4 foot material, our ramp is going to be 8 foot wide. We've got to account for this space right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tape measure. You're going to measure 2 of these guys. You know, here, we'll come over here so it's a little bit more sense making. We got 1.5 inches. What that means is we need to take 1.5 inches off of each one of our boards that we're using as our studs. So our studs are exactly 8 foot. We're going to take them down to 94.5 inches. Oh yeah. Okay, so this side temporarily lifted up. This was the only one that was unlevel, and it's because originally when I measured and set this one, I didn't have my measurement right, apparently, because it was like way too far that way. Hell yeah. So we got some cross braces in here. We got it extra tight on the coping. I've got a board going vertically here, another one going right under it, pretty much vertical. It is actually sucked up to this one. They are screwed together, as you can see right here, down there. And then the coping is actually drilled through here with the same screws. I don't know why everybody tries to go crazy on that. And the holes don't make a fuck. You're not gonna feel it. So they're just screwed this way, so it kind of clips this one, but really sucks into this guy. And then this one, we made sure we pounded it up as close as we could here. Very smooth and flush there. But then we've got supporting screws going through here, holding this together, so whenever you come and hit down on it, it won't knock together and make shitty sounds. The more solid you make it, the quieter it's gonna be. That's what I understand. But we gotta cut some more boards. I got antsy, cut a few and just wanted to install them, so let's cut some more. Tractor grinds, tractor. Oh, you're running in those nails over there?
Hey, you gonna do a fucking progress report?
Yeah, we're gonna do a fucking progress report. We got Jackson on the mic. He is actually cutting these 4x4s here. We've marked them, and we're gonna wedge them under our connection point. We're gonna put, oh shit, bed. We're gonna put one right here, one right here, one under here, this double, and this double as well. Just put one in the center on each one of those. And, you know, just to make me feel better about that.
Did
you miss?
Okay,
Let's mark it.
Yeah, for sure.
How'd you miss twice?
I don't know.
Made a decision here based on how this ends up laying out, because this is a 4-foot wide sheet. Obviously there's a little bit of space there. This is our first layer. We're set it up like this. I'm doubling up 2x right here. That way I can cut a sliver to go there. Have another sheet, I can go a sliver right there. And then, you know, when I stack it, there will be no seams on top of seams. Okay, so now we're starting with the second layer. As you can see, we've got our sliver run right here. And we're gonna put the solid piece here, and then we'll run the next sliver here. We've already got a second layer here. And you can tell this is 1 layer 3/8. That's 2 layers. So 2 layers of 3/8 is definitely the move. Also, we're gonna put that 1/4 inch of birch up here, or 5mm, what the fuck ever it is. We're gonna put it up here, and then we'll do like all of the screws. Because right now we're just doing screws in the side and the middle. That way we don't have way too many screws, because these are gonna go through all 3 layers and it'll suck everything down. So as long as you've got your transition sucked down in there, you'll be all right. That's all we got for now. Let's see some more ass crack, Jackson. We're 2 layers deep. Pretty sick. We don't have all the screws in, but we do have the top decks on. You can see here that we just cut the 3/4 in half. And like I said earlier, this is 20 inch, so we got a 4 inch overhang. This is thick enough that that's not gonna be a problem. All right, so here we are on an update on the mini ramp. We've got our first layer of birch laid down here. Now, I know that we went willy-nilly on placement here, but you should be mindful of how close to the edge you're doing these screws. That way, when you're coming back in and you're doing your final screws as close to the edge as you can, you're not going right into another screw. So on the birch, we're actually going to measure these out. You can go anywhere between 8 and 12 inches, just kind of depends. If you're using masonite, I would suggest going 8 inches. I went 12 inches. So I showed you guys at the beginning, this is what we got. We're just running it down to right here, because I know that if I run it all the way down to the end, we're going straight through this. This is only 5mm. What is that, 3/16, 1/4 inch, something like that. So we just run it into a little bit and then get it flush. Really watch what you're doing here, because if you pull it through, it really fucks up the way it skates. I put a layer of screws in. I've already marked all this, so I'm just gonna pre-drill these holes right here. See, that's what I'm talking about, just going a little bit. All right, so it's finished. That's it. All the screws are in, every single one of them. They're all spaced 12 inches this way, and then wherever they land on a stud this way. Don't look at that. Here she is. You know, obviously I'm not a carpenter, I'm a mechanic, so there's gonna be some things that you'll see that, you know, it's structurally very sound. Could some of the cuts been straighter? Yes. Is that going to change the way this ramp rides? Not for me. Not for me. Not for my kids. So, I'm going to go ahead and do all the measurements right now. So, first of all, let's take a look at this here. Wow. Wow, that's good stuff. Let's take a look at this here. Wow, that's good stuff. Let's look over here. Wow. What about over here? Wow. Pretty close. Danger. Oh, you want a skateboard? You want a skateboard? You want a skateboard? Come on, Robert. Whoa! Marlon, watch out! Thanks for tuning in. Be on the lookout for some more videos involving the ramp. I'm going to do some modifications, add some stuff, and we're definitely going to paint it. But we'll be back to the car content right after this kickflip. Hey! Oh! Right after this kickflip. Right after this kickflip. Content after this.